Hi friends, welcome to Malaology. I am Teresa, Doctor of Metaphysics, Ascension Guide, and Priestess, here to talk about how to choose a mala. I sell malas online primarily. Sometimes I'll be at fairs and festivals, but mostly online, and people sometimes just don't know where to start. What to look for in a mala, how they're going to know they're going to love their mala. So I want to talk to you about some of the things that will go into choosing your mala. There are so many different styles and designs to choose from. Um, so I want to talk about sizes first, sizes, bead sizes, and mala sizes, okay? So depending on how you plan on wearing your mala, you're going to choose a specific size. Now I'm wearing 6 millimeter beads here and 8 millimeter beads here. Now, I know I have a lot of malas on right now, and I'll take them off as I talk about them, but I want to show you the difference between bead sizes right now because my shop has both 6 millimeter size and 8 millimeter size. Now, these are both full malas, 108 beads, 108 beads. That's the traditional mala size. Malas are divided into 4 quadrants usually, so that would be 4 sections of 27 beads, and that makes 108 beads. Um, in the 8 millimeter bead size, that generally would fall here on me, and I am 5'8". Well, I'm shrinking, so now I'm closer to 5'7". So that's where it falls on me. Now, some 8 millimeter beads are actually larger than others just because of the way the beads are cut and formed. This could be longer or it could be a little bit shorter. So there's like a 2-inch difference here. My shop will tell you how many inches about the mala would be. Okay. Now the 6 millimeter beads, it's much, to me, it's if you're going to use 108 beads, for me, 6 millimeter size is better for me. I don't like my mala hanging down to my belly button. It's not practical. So if you plan on wearing your mala all day and you're like me and you work, you are gardening, doing dishes, just things around the house, getting into stuff, this may get in the way for you, if you're bending over and stuff like that. I mean, I've literally, with my 108 8 millimeter malas, I'd be washing dishes and I'd look down and oh my God, my tassel's in the dishwater. So think about that, okay? This is more practical, the 6 millimeter, if you're using 108 beads and you want to keep it kind of close. That's why now I do like 6 millimeter 108 beads, but there are a couple of things I don't like about them. Well, I don't dislike anything about them, but there are a couple of things I don't prefer. Okay, so I'm not able to wrap this mala correctly. See, it's gone around 4 times and it can't quite go around a 5th time. So unless your wrist is really big, you're not going to be able to wrap this. Or if it's really small, you'll be able to wrap it 5 times. My wrist is about 6.5 inches around, 6.25 to 6.5 inches. So if your wrist is anywhere near there, you won't be able to wrap a 6 millimeter 108 mala. It's one thing that I'm not crazy about. The other thing is, while I love that it's lighter around my neck, so you forget that you have it on, I love that. I love with the 8 millimeter beads that it's a little bit more substantial. So that's my preference. So how do I get around 8 millimeter beads but not having it too long? I wear a less traditional 3/4 mala. So a 3/4 mala is just 3 quadrants of 27. You'll see, it's still a traditional mala. You'll see in traditional malas, you'll see 27 beads, 54 beads, 81 beads, and 108 beads, okay? So this is a 3/4 mala, 81 beads. This one doesn't have a tassel. That's another thing I wanted to talk about is your tassel. So this is a cotton tassel. Let's start here. Don't, please, choose a mala with a silk tassel. That's a thing. it's a traditional thing, unfortunately, where you'll find online and in person many malas, many malas, possibly most malas. So be very careful when you purchase. Ask them what they use. Um, Malas made of silk, silk knots, and or silk tassels. Neither is okay. Okay, I'm not going to go in to the cruel practice of harvesting silk because that's not what this video is about. But I'm asking you, please don't buy silk, and especially not for a spiritual tool that you're using so that you can get the good vibe of the beads or that you're going to wear or practice with for any kind of spiritual healing or spiritual manifestation or love and light, because you you don't want to put the bad karma and the bad vibes of the cruel harvest of silk into your mala. You just don't want to start there. So start with that. Cotton tassel is fluffy, right? But they can get matted after continual use and wear. So you'll want to use like a bamboo skewer or a pen that's not retracted or something that's kind of pokey but not too sharp to comb it out. You could even use a comb, just not a fine tooth comb. Um, you can also wash your cotton tassels. Just soak it in lightly soaped water, like Castile soap would be perfect. But even if it was just a little bit of hand soap between your palms even, and just squeeze it in there and rinse it nice and clean. And then go like this to refluff it and then lay it flat dry. So that's how you care for it. Anyways, just something to think about with tassels. And a lot of people don't want tassels with their malas. So I don't sell a lot of no tassel malas, but I do sell quite a few. And so this is an 81 bead, no tassel mala. It's just got a big chunk of tiger's eye, and it rests here. So it rests a little bit further higher up than a 108 6 millimeter mala does. This is the perfect place for the guru bead to rest, in my opinion, right at my heart chakra. So that's why 81 beads is my preferred length with the 108. I'm sorry, with the 8 millimeter size beads. Now, you could ask, what's the difference then in wrapping? Because a lot of people want to purchase a mala to wear as a necklace and also as a bracelet. Okay, so what's the difference between the 108 beads and the 81 beads with wrapping? This is the 108 bead mala wrapped 5 times around my wrist, and this is an 81 bead mala wrapped 4 times around my wrist. Now again, remember, my wrist is 6¼ to 6½ inches long. A lot of 8 millimeter beads are larger and some are smaller. So a lot of times when I'm wrapping an 81 bead mala, I'll really have to kind of be careful to get it on. So as I wrap it, I go around 4 times, and that 4th time just kind of roll it and then go like that, and there you go. Okay. So with the 108 bead, usually it's even a little bit bigger than this, but you just wrap it around 4 times, and then that 5th time just kind of loosen it up and even it out that way. So if you are a man, however, you probably have a slightly larger wrist than mine or a lot larger wrist than mine. You probably won't be able to wrap an 81 bead mala at all. My husband has a 7 to 7¼ inch wrist, and he cannot wrap an 81 bead mala around his wrist. He just can't get it around. Now you can stretch it just a little bit. You can stretch your mala at the nuts a little bit to make it a little bit larger, but do so very, very carefully. And when you're taking your malas off and on, go slow and be careful, because I've had a lot of people break their malas over the years by wrapping. Okay, even though I use double nylon cord, so all of my malas are double corded and double knotted, and just I can't think of a stronger material than the nylon cord I use. Even that can break if your knots are stretched. Okay. So think about that. Think about if you're going to wrap it, how many times you want to wrap it. If you're a man and you plan on wrapping it, you'll definitely want to get the 108 length. This is another example of the 81 bead mala in the 8mm size. And I just want to show you that tassels, while, you know, they can be longer, I like to actually, this is indicative of what most of my tassels look like. So when you get your tassel at home and you decide, oh, I want to wrap it more than where it is a necklace, you'll probably end up wanting to trim your tassel. Do that with care. A good way to do that is to take painter's tape. It's blue and it doesn't stick. It's not super sticky. So painters will use, it comes in other colors too besides blue. Also masking tape. They stick it to the walls and they can paint and then they can peel it off without it sticking to the walls. Well, that's the great thing about painter's tape with tassels is you can carefully make it a nice round, even tassel, wrap the painter's tape around it, and then cut where you want to, unwrap the tape, and it'll be a nice even cut. It's better to remove a little bit at a time until you get it to be the right length, because just like hair, it's really, really, really hard to get it straight the first time. It takes a little bit of, I've made thousands of malas, and every single tassel that I make, it's the most painstaking part of the process still. It doesn't happen clean and easy. I spend a lot of time on every tassel that I make. You know, it's just, you don't want to go fast because you can make, you can't add back onto it. You can only take off more, you can't add back onto it. So anyways, that's another thing to think about is your tassel. The last thing I want to say about tassels is this is a hemp tassel. You may want a mala with a hemp tassel. It's a lot less fluffy looking. A lot of people like a thinner tassel. One way to get that look is with hemp. Hemp wears really, really well. It doesn't get matted like the cotton tassels do. But when you wash it, if you soak it for too long, the hemp will kind of unravel itself and become thicker strands. Okay, and some hemp will become curly, thicker strands. So you just never know what your hemp is going to act like until you actually soak it. So soaking it for less time than more time is just a great way to know that your tassel is going to stay the way you want it, the way you bought it. All right. Another thing I want to talk about is types of malas. So a chakra mala, this is a chakra mala. Okay, let me take this off. Just one more thing I want to say. This is another no tassel mala. 108 beads is a lot of beads. It can get heavy on the neck. So you may want a mala that has a large amount of sandalwood. This mala has half ebony wood and half lapis lazuli. The ebony wood in the back does two different things, and a lot of my malas will offer this. So just consider this when choosing a mala. If you have the wood in the back of the mala, these upper beads are lighter and the bottom beads are heavier, which ensures that as you turn your head and you move around in the day, that your pendant isn't going to slowly migrate around on your neck, right? So by having the lighter beads in the back and the heavier beads in the front, it's going to weight it down centered on your chest, as is a larger pendant like this rock pendant. It weights it down so that it doesn't migrate up like that. We see that with all kinds of necklaces, and it's not my favorite look. So think about that. This is another kind of version of the same principle. I offer a lot of malas for this very reason. I feel like it's a kind of a perfected design. So this is olivine peridot with sandalwood. Same thing, right? Sandalwood in the back, heavier gemstones at the bottom. It keeps it centered, and that's very nice. Okay, so chakra malas. A chakra mala generally will have its gemstones arranged in a way that resonates from the root chakra up to the crown chakra in order on the strand, so that the beads in the back of your neck closest to your crown are going to resonate to your crown, as will they with your third eye or throat, right? And then the beads in the middle of the strand are in the vicinity of your heart chakra, and the ones that resonate with your solar plexus. With your solar plexus chakra, the carnelian and the orange ones will be down here where your sacral is, and then the black or dark red, heavy jaspers and obsidians will be down by the root chakra. So it kind of keeps your chakra body alive, your energy body balanced and activated. Um, Chakra malas are amazing. So if somebody came to me and said, I don't have any malas, this would be my first mala, what mala should I choose? I would suggest that they look at chakra malas to see if there's one that they like, because it's extremely practical. It covers it ticks all the boxes, for all your chakras, for all the colors. This particular one has at least 81 different kinds of gemstones, because I have a lot of chakra malas that I just don't want to use the same stones. I have a lot that do, though. It's a little bit more uniform, a little bit more clean, but I kind of like getting creative and colorful with the textures. So that's just a personal preference. Another thing to mention then, right? Do you want a refined, is your style refined and classical? Is it clean? Is it earthy and practical, where you can wear it while you're working and wear it every day and not have to worry about it? It's kind of how my malas are, much more earthy and grounded in general. So one other thing, a 27 bead mala. You may just want a pocket mala. Now, I don't sell pocket malas alone in my shop, but almost all of my malas are offered with pocket malas as an add-on. The nice thing about a pocket mala is a lot of people just want to wear their mala as a necklace. They don't want to be bothered with doing 81 or 108 mantras when they do their mantras. Maybe they just only have time for 27 mantras once or a few times a day. Maybe they want to keep their gemstones with them in their purse, in their car, under their pillow, on their altar. Even though their mala doesn't match their clothes, they can keep it in a pocket, right? So they get the benefit of the gemstones or the benefit of having their mantra beads at hand without the bulk of a full mala, or without, having to wear something that doesn't necessarily go, or having to wear a mala outside of their clothes or in their clothes where people can see, oh, their beads, who knows, maybe they work in the corporate world and they don't want to be judged. So this is another great option. If you want to just start a mantra practice or a meditation practice, a practice of self-inquiry, or if you just want the benefits of the gemstones, maybe you want to start small and find somebody who just sells smaller malas. That's a beautiful way to start, because in my opinion, that's the most precious part of the practice, is the actual mantra. Some of the most beautiful mantras that I do are the easiest, like thank yous. Counting your blessings. Think of everything that you can be thankful for and just go around the beads and say thank you for this and thank you for this. When you get to the other end, turn it around and go the other way until you run out of thank yous, right? Or the pono pono. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. That kind of thing, right? A super easy one is just love. Love, love, love. Say the name of one of your guides, or guardians, right? Like Raziel, Archangel Raziel is one of my faves. So you can just say their name over and over again. Lakshmi, 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 whatever it may be. As you repeat the name of one of your guides, gods, or guards, you're resonating more and more with them and growing closer and closer to them. energy. That's a whole nother video because I'm not taking that literally and I'm not meaning it literally. But that's another story. We'll talk about that another time. So sizes. I don't have a 54 bead mala to show you right now because, well, you can't wear a 54 bead mala. I know you can't wear a 27 one, but these are fast and easy to use. And if you want to do 54 repetitions, you just do one of these twice. Okay, so I just don't feel a need for a 54 bead mala in my life. But think about the numerology of mala. It does not have to be divisible by 27. There are a lot of reasons for that, but that is very traditional. I actually have a few malas that are 99 beads. I resonate more with the master number 11 and the number 9. And for me, actually, a 99 bead mala fits better. It actually fits better. So think about that. You know, choose your number of beads and then contact the seller and say, ask them if they'll personalize it for you, right? If they'll give you the specific number of beads that you want. I really, really encourage you to find your sovereignty and find your power in your spiritual practice. And that's an easy way to do it, is claim your number and what it is that you want to practice with. Okay. So colors. I've already talked about the chakra, so I'll just say one more thing. If you're working on your root chakra, now I have videos on all the chakras on my shop, so I'm not going to go into that, but if you're working on your root chakra, look at black malas or garnet malas, dark red, jasper malas are super grounding too, okay? And then if you're working on your sacral chakra, of course, you know, red jaspers and oranges. And then if you're working on your solar plexus mala or chakra, then citrines and golds and yellows, bright yellows. And of course your heart chakra malas, greens and pinks. Your throat chakra, you know, if you want to strengthen your throat chakra and be more expressive, blues. And then indigos, purples for your third eyes, and then whites and clears for your crown. Okay, so think about what you're working on too, you know. And protection malas are a big thing in my shop. That's probably most of my malas are protection malas, protection from this or that. And it's not that people feel insecure or afraid. Their gemstones offer a lot in the way of protection for empaths, psychic shielding, emotional safeguarding, let's say. There are a lot of toxic relationships where people are trying to heal. So this is, you know, the kind of thing that obsidian can be helpful with too. So do you want a protection mala? Just think about that. And one other type of mala I didn't mention, but I should, is skull malas. I happen to sell a lot of skull malas too. And a lot of people are put off by skull malas for whatever reason. I was when I started with Malaology. I didn't see why anybody would want to wear a skull around their neck. And then I understood. Then I understood. So, you know, if you think about Kali and a lot of the other devas, they wore skull necklaces. And I actually have a skull necklace. Oh, there it is right there. So this is all skulls, okay? Skull necklaces, whether it's a guru bead on your mala or it's a whole necklace made of skulls. This is a way that you express and find and claim your sovereignty over death, over the ego, over lower expressions of self, over karmic curses and DNA afflictions, over ancestral debts. There's so many things that wearing a skull mala will empower you and free you in so many ways. So look into that. So yeah, that's a big one. So think about the kind of mala. Another kind of mala actually is Moonstone Malas. It's not just plain moonstone. I sell a lot of different kinds of Moonstone Malas. People love Moonstone Malas, Moonstone mixed with Sunstone or Labradorite or Tiger's Eye. There are a lot of combinations that work really well with Moonstone, and Moonstone resonates with obviously your crown chakra and the highest realms and the moon. And it is when you are wanting to feed the highest frequency of self, and you're wanting to ascend your vibration as much as possible, and you want to live in that high vibe place, wearing Moonstone Malas is extremely effective. So those are some things to think about when choosing a mala. More than anything, when you're online and you're looking at malas, the mala should actually really speak to you. I spend a lot of time with the descriptions on my malas. Well, not, I used to spend a lot of time with descriptions on my malas. I still, try to give as much information as possible. But now if somebody responds to me, hey, thank you for your purchase from my shop, I'll send a message. And sometimes they'll send me a message back, rarely, much more rarely now than in the past. They'll say sometimes, it was your description that really spoke to me. I ask them a couple more questions because I want to make sure that the words that they read aren't the reason that they chose the mala. The mala itself should speak to you. When you see the picture of the mala, something inside of you should go, wow, wow. That really, really speaks to me. It speaks to my heart. I want that. So that's what I strive for. And I've seen it in other shops. I've seen malas in other shops that I'm just like, wow. So, I definitely not asking you to go to my shop and find a mala. Not at all. They're out there, there are a lot of great mala makers out there, and I encourage you to support all the mala makers you can. Okay, because I believe in this craft. So, the last thing is think about the person making your mala. That's the most important thing. The person crafting your mala. Are they doing it with sincerity? Do you feel that they're making this mala in a place of love and healing for the purpose of blessing you? Or are they just throwing it together? They don't have time to respond to your questions. They don't have time to make it like a gift to you. They don't care about that. They're just throwing it in a package and sending it off. Stay away from that. Stay away from that. Because mala making is like cooking. You can tell when it's made with love. Okay? And for a mala, it's not worthy of you if it's not made with love. It's not something you're just going to use once, right? It's something you're going to live with. So you want it to bless you. So just make sure that you're employing someone, you're patronizing someone who cares about you, okay, in your spiritual growth. And you can make your own mala. And that's the last thing I want to say. Think about that. Think about making your own mala. If you don't know how, I sell mala kits, and other people sell mala kits online that have it all together for you, so you don't have to do your shopping around. Also, I have books on mala making, or actually a book on mala making. But think about making your own mala. In the end, ultimately, that is the ultimate goal. Okay, is nodding in the blessings for yourself, choosing the beads for yourself. Then you'll know that that mala was made perfectly for you. Okay. So that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for visiting. Let me know if you have any questions. Mala blessings, love, and light.